everyone. I'd like to say hello, and hi, and thank you for being here once again to listen to me. Um, Again, it's Ichibu, or if you like, Chibu's Outbox, my Outbox. Um, Perhaps I'd like to talk about something, you know, some academics need to know. And that is that the works you write for academic purpose, even though most of us enjoy being cited, and actually we do get cited, the reality is that people aren't reading them. Sorry to disappoint you. There's evidence that majority of the people, in fact, very few people read them. So, I think it was 2 days ago, I got a WhatsApp message from a professor, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Kumasi, Ghana. And the title of, the message is just a one-off message. He sent it, he said, "Prof, no one is reading you." And, after that, he wrote some few other lines to commend me for engaging in a lot of policy writing and especially newspaper writing. And so I decided to make this particular podcast because he sent me a link of something we already know that people aren't reading it. But he sent me a link of a report on the research that actually dug into it, probed it, investigated it, and came up with some information concerning whether people read our academic work. And that was titled, "Prof, No One is Reading You." And the bottom line is that this research found that an average academic journal article is read in its entirety by about 10 people. Average. That's that paper you write, when it's in a good journal, it's just about 10 people that end up reading it. And many a times, we write, look, I just reviewed a paper that is nearly 60 pages. And when you tell authors to reduce it, they complain as if you're taking their life away from them. So how do you expect someone to read it? It's not as if you're reading Shakespeare or Chimamanda Adichie or any of these people. It's not a nice story in most cases. We're talking about things that to people out there are simply boring. An abstract that sounds the same way all the time. A 30-page document, you already state the result from the beginning or allude to it and still go around blabbing and 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 ending up with a list of people and places. So when you look at that, if you take yourself away from academia and look at it from a non-academic perspective, you realize why people may not be reading it. Now, some of you who write for other scientists might say it doesn't matter, scientists are reading it. That's fine. It's possible that those 10 that read your article are fellow academics like you. But in the social sciences, and I consider myself a social scientist, in the social sciences, many a times we'll write and hope to make policy, policy changes, to create policy changes, to create societal change. You can't make those changes without the society reading it. And that's the crux of the matter. That the society aren't really reading what we are writing. And so this particular article that I read analyzed this situation and concluded that it's just about 10 people that read your academic article, and so that to shape policy, that professors, academics, researchers should start by penning commentaries in popular media. Did you hear that? Penning commentaries in popular media. What's the popular media? Newspaper, magazines, where you can educate citizens and talk to them directly. YouTube, like we are having this chat now. WhatsApp, television. You know which one that is more popular. It's usually magazine, newspapers, television, radio. But YouTube has taken over. It offers you both what television offers you, offers you what... Oh, sorry, I'm not here campaigning for YouTube. But come on, that's the reality. It offers you radio and offers you television. But all jokes apart, this research concluded that it's important that we all write for popular media. That is to write for newspapers, write for magazines, write commentaries in places where policymakers can actually use them. Does that surprise you? It doesn't surprise me from social science perspective, because most of my work, I can speak for myself, always ends with policy recommendations. So if it ends with policy recommendations, it means that for that particular section, if not the entire paper, you are addressing a specific audience, which are policy makers or people involved in policy in your area. And on that basis, this research noted that that many in the world's most talented, most of the world's most talented thinkers who are considered to be in universities have the sad news of getting to know that they cannot shape the world they live in except they engage in public debates that influence policies. People like to say to me, oh, you're doing YouTube. Everybody's doing YouTube now. You better go do your own. You better go start your own. Stop telling me everybody's doing YouTube now. Not everybody is doing it. I know people who are not doing it. And this research is actually saying that you should take up any opportunity you have that can allow you to influence policy, that you should do that. Engage in public debate. How else do you engage in public debate? Stop looking down on podcasts. Get involved. Stop looking down on newspaper articles. Get involved. Stop looking down on magazine articles. Get involved. Because that's your 85.793586 impact factor journal. Politicians aren't reading it. People on the street aren't reading it. So you better get into what people on the street have access to. And, sorry, now they have access to YouTube. Then the newspapers. So that's what this is actually all about. If you want me to give you some metrics, this research found that in the 1930s and 1940s, 20% of articles in the prestigious journals, especially in American Political Science Review, focused on policy recommendations. At the last count, the share was down to a mega 0.3%. Even debates among scholars do not seem to function properly. Up to 1.5 million peer-reviewed articles are published annually. Did you hear that? 1.5 million peer-reviewed articles are published annually. So my friend, Mr. Professor and Mr. Researcher and Mr. Research Assistant, did I forget the Miss? Add the Miss to everything that I said. All of you that jump around and are writing, just know that you are just a little in a sea of 1.5 million articles. Who do you think is reading it? I can't even finish reading my own coursework because there are other things that I have to do. And you still believe people are just reading your work? they are reading it, you're lucky. But I would imagine that for my work, in a sea of 1.5 million, it's gotta be struggling somehow. First and foremost, the type of things I write, where I come from and from where I write them, and where I publish them might influence access. So, I publish in newspapers. And in fact, I reduced my newspaper publishing the moment I started planning to start a podcast. Because I want to attach a voice to that opinion rather than the persona. But I very much encourage people to publish newspaper articles. It's worked for me, and I'll keep doing it. And whenever I have time, I will do that because they deliver the message quicker and closest to the people you want to address. Do you get that? If a paper is cited, they say this does not imply that it has actually been read. That is true. And another thing I'll have to tell you, even without research, is just my experience. If a paper is downloaded, it also does not mean it has been read. There are many I downloaded that are on my desktop. And before that one, there are several of them on my desktop that I had to at some point delete because there was no time to read them. So according to one estimate, only 20% of papers cited have actually been read. Only 20% of papers cited has actually been read. This is crazy. In fact, this research estimates that an average paper in a peer-reviewed journal is read completely by no more than 10 people. And so, impact of most peer-reviewed publications, even within scientific community, are simply minuscule. May not even be happening. But yet, people clink glasses whenever they release one. People talk about how much they've published in the past 10 years, the past 1 year, in the past months. People includes me before you start suspecting. I'm also part of the people. I talk about how much I've published, how much I've, I'm just saying to us all, we gotta have to do something. We should better start publishing in those popular media that many of us tend to look down on. And for me, that's the message. It's good to publish in hundreds impact factor journal, but I am not the one saying it. The research is saying it. Hopefully you can see it, at least a link on the screen. That's the report. These things we do, we need to change our ways. The idea of publishing for the sake of publishing should change. We know publish or perish. This research is simply saying publish in non-perishable sources are the popular media. Thanks very much, and I hope I've been able to deliver one or two messages. I just want us to not ignore popular media such as newspapers, magazines, radio, television as areas of places from where we can disseminate our research. And this means we can speak in those places, debate in those places about issues of pertinent nature to what we research in order to deliver the message to the people that we wanted to get to, which are the politicians, the policymakers, at least within my own context. To do that, you need to take this popular media seriously. But I'm not saying for the sake of promotion and for the sake of intellectualism, I'm not saying you should not publish in journals. Personally, I'm an editor of one or two journals, so that already tells you where I stand when it comes to journal publication. But do not look down on the popular media. Get involved and put your message out there. Thank you. I hope I wasn't that hard on you. Just thanks. And please tap down Ichibu. Try to subscribe. Also leave your comments. If you feel you have something to say, I would appreciate it. Bye.